Okay, so question number 3. What does a positive delta H tell us about a reaction? Okay, so delta H is the change in enthalpy. So this is how much heat and work was added or removed from the substance. Okay, so I'll write out how to calculate for delta H. Delta H is equal to delta E plus pressure times delta V. So delta E is the change in internal energy. P is just the pressure. And delta V is the change in volume. So this is one way to calculate delta H. Another way is to find the delta H of reaction. Sometimes we're given the values of the delta H of our products. And then this will be minus the delta H of our reactants. So this is if a question gives you the delta H of your products and the delta H of your reactants already. If not, then another method to calculate this is the delta H of the reaction is equal to the delta H, the sum of all the delta H's of our broken bonds minus the sum of the delta H of all the bonds formed. Okay, so now that we know how to calculate delta H, we can fully answer the question, what does a positive delta H tell us? So when delta H is greater than 0, this tells us that heat was absorbed from the surroundings to the system. So it also tells us that the reaction was endothermic. I'm going to put this in a box. And similarly, I'll write down here when delta H is less than 0, so when it is a negative value. This is basically the opposite, so that means that heat was released from the system to the surroundings. And in other words, heat is a product and we get an exothermic reaction. Okay, so let's see what the junior tutor said. Enthalpy tells how much heat and work was added or removed from the substance. At constant pressure, the enthalpy change of process is delta H is equal to delta E plus P times delta V. In equation 1, delta H is the change in enthalpy, delta E is the change in internal energy, P is the pressure, and delta V is the change in volume. When delta H is negative, this means that heat is released to the surroundings from the system. On the other hand, when delta H is positive, heat is absorbed from the surroundings to the system. Yep, so this solution is correct. Just rephrased it.